Hey, alright, so today we are going to be talking about something that's really interesting. Um, Basically, it's going to be my review of Marvel's What If. Okay, so basically, if you are uh, having no idea about what the hell is Marvel What If is all about, so Marvel What If is a new series that is produced by Marvel Studios, and what it does is that it takes the first step towards explaining a multiverse. Okay, so as what we all know, in Marvel, we've had the entire MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It started with Iron Man 1, and of course, a string of all the superhero movies from Marvel are interconnected to each other until it comes to the big movie Avengers, where all the superheroes they introduced from the first phase came out in Avengers, and then they continued with phase 2 and continued with phase 3. So all of this mixture of all the superheroes, they have created what as we known as one singular universe. So all of the interconnected movies are connected to each other, and we've seen like a beginning, a middle, and an end. As per Avengers Endgame, kind of like is the end of that whole string of movies, but it's still continuing. However, post, as in post, after all the incidents and the events that we saw from Endgame, it's like the new universe that's being created. So, What If basically is a series that is cartoon based. It's not really live action, it's animation, cartoon based, but the stories are all about what if. Basically, it's like, what if this character becomes that person instead of what has been established in the movies. In Marvel What Ifs, it kind of like explores how it would be if we had a completely different new origin story for different superheroes. In the current MCU, we all know that Captain Steve Rogers became Captain America, and he became like the leader of the Avengers, and we saw all the movies with Steve Rogers being Captain America, and he saves the day. In the very first episode of this Marvel What If, they changed the origin story, a what if origin story, in a way where, imagine if Steve Rogers did not undergo the experiment to become a super soldier. Instead, Agent Carter, Margaret Carter, goes inside the chamber and she gets the super soldier serum. So she becomes super. So in the Marvel What If episode 1, we get to see a Captain Carter, where Steve Rogers, on the other hand, he gets into the very first Iron Man suit created by Howard Stark. So we're looking at a new history, a new branch of a new universe that's being created. And it is kind of like narrated by a character called the Watcher. In the Marvel comics, there is one character called the Watcher whose name is Uatu. We have also seen a post-credit scene in one of those Marvel movies. If I'm not mistaken, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not sure exactly. I've forgotten which movie it was, but we saw a post-credit scene in one of the Marvel MCU movie where Stan Lee happens to be talking to these characters called the Watchers. So the Watcher, who is the Watcher? Now the Watcher is actually a Celestial. As you know, the Celestials are the beings who is responsible for creating the Eternals, as the upcoming movie is going to come out, Marvel's Eternals. So the Celestials are very powerful beings. They control basically the entire universe. Okay, there are many different Celestials. So one kind of these Celestials are called the Watchers. So one of these Watchers is basically narrating these events of a branch of a new history, branch of a new universe that's taking place. But he's only watching as an observer. He doesn't interfere, he doesn't change anything. That is established in the very first episode itself. So Marvel What If is basically a string of different stories that explores a different storyline than what is been established in the MCU. We're looking at exploring at the different kind of approach. The first episode was talking about what if Margaret Carter became had the super soldier serum and she became Captain Carter. Whereas there is also a second episode that's just released as well. The second episode is talking about what if Prince T'Challa, instead of becoming the Black Panther, Prince T'Challa becomes Star-Lord. So it's in that faction. So you see, they're going to mix and match the different, they're going to basically show different origin stories of different superheroes or even villains. It's just basically a what if, which is really interesting. When I saw the first episode, I was mind blown about it, because I thought that, the first initial reaction for everybody is that, what is this? How come there's a Captain Britain now? I urge you guys to watch this, and you will understand how it's really happening. It's not trying to re-establish a completely new storyline within MCU. This is basically a branching of a separate universe, not established in the current MCU universe. And this will be further, I will get to know more about this in the upcoming Doctor Strange movie, as well as the upcoming Spider-Man movie as well. In the next Spider-Man movie, if you have not seen the trailer, I urge you to go to YouTube and watch the trailer. You will see Doctor Strange appearing in this upcoming Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And in that movie, you are going to see Dr. Octopus return. And there's also some kind of hint that we believe that even Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, as well as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, will make appearance as well. But that is all in the grapevine, it's in the rumor. We don't know whether it's already confirmed or not. But what we know so far, based on the trailer we have seen so far, there is a Doctor Strange, and Dr. Octopus makes a comeback again. And when I say Dr. Octopus, as in the Dr. Octopus we've seen in Spider-Man 2. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. Alright? So remember the guy with the same actor, Alfred Molina, returns as Dr. Octopus in this new Tom Holland version of Spider-Man. So I think it's really, really interesting. You guys have to understand that Marvel is taking the next step about explaining, instead of introducing a new villain. For instance, if you look at the previous MCU, that what has been already established since pre-Avengers Endgame, it was all mentioning about the Infinity Stones, and it was gearing up towards Thanos acquiring all the Infinity Stones and making his clique, as we've seen in Infinity War, and what happens after the clique. So if Thanos and the Infinity Stones is the main story for the entire previous MCU, from now onwards, from this new phase of MCU until all the strings of movies that's coming to the future, from the future, it will be speaking about the multiverse. So Doctor Strange, next movie we call Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness, will fully explain more about what the multiverse is all about. It's basically meaning that we are not stuck into one universe where we only have one timeline and all the stories, all the characters inside this timeline is set. If you talk about multiverse, we're talking about many different universes. We have seen the very first steps of this multiverse in the other animated movie from Sony Pictures, also from Marvel, called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This was our first hint of the multiverse concept. So I urge all of you, if you are a Marvel fan, or even if you're not a Marvel fan, I urge you to actually watch the What If, Marvel's What If series. It's really nice. And the best thing about this is that you don't need to be a Marvel fan for you to kind of enjoy the What If, because it tells a completely new origin story. So you don't need to be actually watching the entire MCU for you to understand What If. What If creates completely new origin stories, so you can enjoy it at a different viewpoint. All right, and I've seen the first episode, which is about Captain Carter. It's not. It may look like you may think that it's Captain Britain. It's not Captain Britain. Her name is Captain Carter. The best things about it is that the voice. I'm not sure whether they got the original people, but I think they are, because it sounds really, really like the original actors who was giving the voice. For instance, there is also a Red Skull in this first episode of Marvel What If, and the actor who's giving the voice for Red Skull is the original same actor who was acting as Red Skull in Captain America, the First Avenger, as well until Endgame, the Red Skull, which is hell, I forgot his name. He's the voice for Megatron, and as well he's Agent Smith in the Matrix, right? So you know, Hugo Weaving, that's it, that's his name. Hugo Weaving is giving the voice for Red Skull. So we have the original actors actually giving voice. And if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong here, I'm not sure, I haven't really seen the credits cast scene, I haven't really seen, but there is a Steve Rogers and there is a Bucky, and when you look at the cartoon, when you listen to the characters speak, their voices is really good. It's very believable, because the voice of Steve Rogers sounds just like Chris Evans. I don't know whether if Chris Evans is really giving the voice, but I know this for a fact. The voice of Margaret Carter, who's Captain Carter, she is the original actress who played Peggy Carter in the movies as well. So that's very interesting. In the Marvel What Ifs, I think they are going to have the voice of all the original actors, or maybe the best voice imitators of the actors to lend in the voice for this series. For instance, I've also seen the trailer for the next episode, episode 2, which is What If T'Challa becomes Star-Lord. So I've seen the trailer, and the voice of T'Challa really sounds like Chadwick Boseman. I don't know whether it's really Chadwick Boseman. Maybe they've recorded the voice, or I have no idea. I have to see the cast list. I have to go and do a little bit of research as well. But it sounded exactly like Chadwick Boseman's voice. So I'm really, really interested. I'm really, really excited with this new Marvel What Ifs. It's really, really interesting. And yeah, I give a real big thumbs up on this, and I give a very good review. It's really good. And the animation, the action, it's really nice. It tells a good storyline. You know, I don't want you guys to have a bad first impression just by looking at the trailer, and then you might think, I don't like all this. No, keep your mind with an open mind and watch this, and you will enjoy it, because it tells a completely different new storyline altogether, with a complete new origin story to what has been already established, right? So it's interesting to mix and match. The title, actually, the whole series is telling about the title. What if? What if this happened? What if that happened? What if this didn't happen? What if that didn't happen? You know, that's what this entire series is all about. And I think it's very interesting, because you kind of like enjoy how it would have been if this person became that and that person became this. You know, it's a mix and match. It's just interesting. And I feel like the multiverse concept is a very good concept. And weirdly enough, even DC, and the other complete wing, DC Extended Universe, are also going to go on this similar multiverse concept themselves. Especially with this upcoming, they're filming a new movie called Flash. And they are also, the way I look at it is, they are also doing a multiverse concept as well. Because in the upcoming Flash movie, there is Ben Affleck. There's also Michael Keaton, who is reprising his role as Batman and Bruce Wayne from the first Batman movie they did back in the 90s, which is the Tim Burton directed Batman movie. So Michael Keaton is playing Bruce Wayne and Batman, as well as Ben Affleck is playing Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same movie called Flash. So I have a feeling that even Flash is going to be, this DCU will be also on this multiverse concept. Weirdly enough is that these two movies, this multiverse concept, it's going to be really fantastic. The way I look at it is, imagine, okay, and this is just me, but just imagine if you have DC superheroes appearing in Marvel superhero movies, because it's a multiverse concept. And that would be amazing. Imagine you have the Justice League meeting the Avengers. It can happen. It really is possible. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't happen. It could happen. In fact, if you ask us fans, I would be yeah, man, I'd love to see Superman and Captain America join hands to beat Thanos and Darkseid together. That would be really amazing. Right? You have Wonder Woman and Thor joining hands. There will be a lot of similarities. Alright, there will be a lot of similarities. You have Quicksilver and you have Flash, and even Quicksilver itself is really interesting because we saw in WandaVision the Quicksilver of X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. That character of Quicksilver is appearing in WandaVision, which it's like a small hint that maybe the X-Men has already effectively entered the MCU as well. For all these times we have not seen the X-Men actually appearing in the MCU, but Deadpool is also one more small key to the feature of that. Deadpool appears in X-Men comics characters as well, and we have seen in Deadpool movies some of the X-Men are also in Deadpool as well, which is very interesting. So I would say that Deadpool is probably the bridge that connects X-Men to the MCU. Deadpool, if I'm not mistaken, is he's like a new card. I don't know what they call it. There's a term for it. He's a new card that he's like a new fella who comes in that bridges two big roads or cities together. That's what I'm trying to say. Wild card, yeah, that's the word. Maybe Deadpool is like the wild card. So just like this Marvel What If is also going to be like the wild card for the multiverse concept that is going to be explored by the MCU. And I also can't wait for the next Flash movie to come in and to explore further on the DCU. Yes, DC fans, they want the Snyderverse to continue. They are hammering and banging on Warner Brothers studio, demanding for Warner Brothers to continue with the Snyderverse. We don't know exactly. I'm not going to take any stand on any part of it. I'm going to be neutral, but I'll be happy if they do continue with the Snyderverse, but as well as they also continue with their standalone movies. I'll be okay with it. There are some fans in the DCU who says that they want Ben Affleck back as Batman and they should create another separate Ben Affleck's Batman movie instead of putting replacing Robert Pattinson as a Batman and continuing him for a continued Zack Snyder's Snyderverse. So a lot of fans don't want that. But I think that just like the Joker movie that they did, they can make it even a standalone or a trilogy, just like the Dark Knight. They made Dark Knight, the Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises with Christian Bale. That was a standalone trilogy. It does not fall into the DCU whatsoever. The DCU was, I would say that it was created during the time of Man of Steel, and then Dawn of Justice, Justice League, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. These are the few movies that are all interconnected to each other. And now with the Flash, so this is all forming one storyline. But the Dark Knight, as in Christian Bale's Dark Knight trilogy, that is one Batman standalone trilogy. And I believe that Robert Pattinson will be doing the same thing as well. Robert Pattinson will have his own trilogy as well. So going forward, that is what is happening in DCU, and that's what's happening in Marvel right now. So this is going to be a review of the Marvel What If episode 1. I think it's really interesting. It gives it's a mind-blowing thing that you get to experience a new character with a new storyline, a new origin story that is being told. It's really action-packed, and there's the voice acting is very good, the action is very good, and yeah, looking forward to see more different episodes as well. I'm looking forward to see the second episode. I heard there's really about 4 episodes out, so you should go out and yeah, if you have the time and the resources, go ahead and sign up with your Disney Plus. So I think they are streaming in the Disney Plus. Get it in Disney Plus. And if you want to continue with many of the you want to see about the DCU's extended universe movies, I would recommend you to go and get yourself sign up with HBO Max, because all of the upcoming DCEU based movies will be of course featured in HBO Max. So that's what's happening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this small tiny review of mine for Marvel's What If episode 1. What if Agent Carter, or Captain Carter, becomes the new superheroine? And it's also woman empowerment as well. So it gives, like, wow, we have a Captain America, but she's a girl, but she's not American, she's British, so it's Captain British, something like that. Actually, the character's name is Captain Carter. So yeah, it's a very good pull. So it's also woman empowering as well. And when I looked at it, I felt that, yeah, it's very good. It's nicely done. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, so this is my review of Marvel's What If episode 1. Looking forward for episode 2 and so on. I will be doing another review for episode 2 as well. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this. This is Ramdev signing out.